Okay, hey guys, how are you? Hope you are doing well. Great. And today we are going to discuss a very interesting topic, and it's a very much demanded topic from all of my viewers. And the topic for today is the perpetual versus periodic inventory systems. So it's very much famous across the supply chain community that what are the systems you should take in terms of checking inventory across the organization, correct? And for which sorry, which you should take the perpetual, and for which kind of business you should take periodic. So let us discuss that, okay, what we are going to cover today. So yes, the main agenda is to discuss about the perpetual versus periodic inventory systems. But yes, but how we are going to do it? So first we are going to check that what are the inventory systems basically. Then we are going to understand that, okay, what is the perpetual inventory system, and then what is the periodic inventory system. Here we will cover the definition, what is the mechanism, and what is the example of it. Now, after understanding each of those systems, then we will going to cover what are the key difference between these two, what are the benefits of each system, and then what are the condition which favors either of the system. Okay, you may be having certain businesses around, but you are running your business in a certain condition. Maybe that condition is favorable for either of these two inventory systems. And last but not least, we will check that how you can implement any of these inventory system if you have selected one out of these, and how to do the application. Okay, let's go. So first of all, we are going to understand that what is the inventory system basically. Okay, so if you're running a business, you must be having certain inventory, correct? Your business, you are doing your business to satisfy your client first of all, correct? So if you want to satisfy your client, you need to give them uh, your product basically. Okay, and for servicing your client, okay, when you are providing the product to your customer, you have to have a stock of it. Okay, so now when you are carrying a particular stock, you need to think that how you can better manage it so that you can service your customer best possible way. Okay, you may have inventory placed on the warehouse, not in an order manner. Okay, and when customer comes to you and you are not able to find it, it's a lost sales to you, correct? So that is a problem which we need to solve by the inventory system. So there should be a methodological, logical uh, keeping of your inventory, and keep the record of your inventory so that you can better service your customer. So that is why we need to introduce the inventory system for any organization. Okay, so if you can see that in the third point we are saying that, okay, there can be many systems around the world. Okay, and one of the very much prevalent system is the manual system. Okay, so what the manual system is? In the manual system, user go and check that, okay, I have this much of inventory with me. Okay, and he cannot do it he cannot do it on his second and all. There should be certain period of time involved, let's say once in an hour, once in a 3 hour, or once in a day, which is the most practical thing when you are involved, you are alone, and you are involving your business, correct? You want to take a look that what's your beginning on an inventory, and after the end of your day you want to check what's your ending on an inventory, so that you can take a look that whatever sales you have done, is it matching with the inventory or not. So these kind of manual systems people usually have. But there are, when you scale your business, okay, it is not on your hand that you can check each and every time. Let's say you are handling thousands of order, okay, and now you need to check that, okay, how much inventory I have remained with. Okay, let's say if there is another customer is coming, okay, then you don't know that, okay, how much inventory I have sold. You are dealing multiple clients, multiple customer at once. Okay, so you don't know that, okay, how much inventory is remaining in my warehouse. So at that point of time you need some real time inventory as well, which can be facilitated by some automated system. These automated system can be like barcode scanner, and there can be warehouse management system which can identify that how much space is occupied, and there are other kind of system like RFIDs and all, in which user can check that okay, how much inventory has gone out of my warehouse and how much is inside my warehouse. Sorry. So that kind of system which you can do. So these are the two kind of basically system available. One is the manual one, user go and check the inventory, write on the Excel sheet or any paper sheet, and another one is the automated system where user has the technology to identify that how much inventory you have remained with. So these kind of inventory system available. So within the automated system we find two primary types. One is a perpetual and another one a periodic inventory system. So today we are going to discuss this perpetual and the periodic inventory system. Let's go ahead. So what is the first? What is the perpetual inventory system? So if you check the definition is that the perpetual inventory system continuously update inventory records in real time. So as the name suggests, okay, it is a perpetual, okay. You are updating your records each and every time whenever you are selling anything or you are receiving anything. Okay, if you so you want to be updated at the point of time something goes out of your house or something coming into your warehouse. Okay, so this is the perpetual inventory system. Okay, let's talk about the mechanism. If you talk about the mechanism, the perpetual system often utilizes the technology such as point of sale system, barcode scanner or RFID track to track the inventory. So these tags, okay, so how this RFID usually work? If you talk about the RFID usually work that okay, they have a receiver, okay, and they usually put that receiver at the gate of a warehouse, and whenever anything's coming in you put it, okay, if something going in the warehouse by a particular route you will add the inventory. If something going out from the warehouse, that is an outbound shipment, then you will tag it as a out of the warehouse inventory. The same way the point of sale, you must have those machines at any retail outlet, correct, in which you just swipe your card. Those are your POS or point of sales systems, in which let's say at the starting you have hundreds of unit in your inventory, and then your POS system will say that okay, I have 100 at inventory at back, and as soon as you are going to swipe it, correct, as soon as you are going to swipe it, it will reduce the inventory and keep informing the owner, okay, let's say 90s are remaining, 80s are remaining, 70s are remaining, likewise. The same way you have a barcode scanner. It's a quite a manual work, but still because it is a connected system across the multiple stores, so user will be knowing that okay, in a particular store or a warehouse how much inventory is available. So this is a perpetual inventory system. It is working at the time of sale or at the time of receiving of any inventory. Okay, if you talk about the example, we can have an example of any retail store which is equipped with a POS. Okay, it automatically updates the inventory level as I was talking about a bit earlier. Okay, so let's say if a customer buy a shirt, the system deduct that item from the inventory count instantly and providing the store manager with the up-to-date stock level. Okay, let's check what is the inventory system by the name of periodic inventory system. Okay, if you check about the definition, it is saying that a periodic inventory system updates inventory records at specific intervals such as monthly or quarterly. So it need not to be monthly or quarterly. It can be daily or once in a week or once in a bi-week. You can say any period. Basically, it's not real time. It's just period of time. So what's the mechanism? The mechanism is that during the counting period, business may not know what's their current inventory levels. Let's say you start your day with 100 inventory at your back, okay, and you are supposed to receive some material as well today, and now suddenly you got too much customer, okay, and because you are not keeping the records that how much you have sold and how much you have received, you will not be able to commit the quantity which you can serve to the customer because you do not have any idea about it. Okay, so instead they just rely on a previous count, they still be thinking that okay, I will only be having 100 inventory at my back, but you might have received something, some shipment may have arrived earlier, so that the sale which you were thinking that you have only 100 at back, but you might be having 200 because the shipment may have arrived earlier, but because you are not checking it, you don't have information, you are going to lose the sales if anything is going to come after 200, or sorry, after 100. Okay, so yeah, so what's the example? The example is a small grocery store might count his stock at the end of each month, which usually happens. So these periodic inventory system we will talk in detail further, that usually a small vendors, correct, usually use this kind of stuff. And because they know that okay, if the item don't have that much value, or the impact of the of losing a customer is not that much, so usually these kind of businesses use this periodic inventory system. So yeah, we were looking for an example that let's say a small grocery store, for example, might count its stock at the end of each month, and after the count the owner update the inventory record based on the findings. So let's say if a store has 100 boxes of cereal counted but previously estimated it at 120, then the owner can adjust the record accordingly, but when he was thinking that it was 120, he will be doing the sale by the thinking as it is 120. Going ahead, okay, so it's a bit of promotion time that guys, that we have our book. If you are looking for any supply chain interview and you're looking for something which can cover from distribution, procurement, or logistic, production, planning as well, with example, you can go through this book. It's a really good book. We have spent hours in order to create this book, and it is having the gist of it. It's just not a theory, it have the numericals as well. It will make you understand that how you can give the answer crisp and best possible manner, which certainly catch the eyes of your interviewer. Let's go. So now check about the key differences. So the perpetual and period, both of the inventory systems are quite different. Okay, there are very significant difference between these two, and you will find that they are not actually very similar. So let's say just first talk about the accuracy, because in the perpetual inventory system you are doing the update with each transactions, okay, whether it's incoming or it's outgoing. So you know that how much inventory you have, so this is the more accurate. Okay, at any point of time if someone is going to ask you how much inventory do you have, you will be saying the accurate number with the perpetual inventory system setup. The second thing is yeah, this periodic inventory system is not that accurate, because there is a one single number. If you are doing it once in a month, you will not be having that number with you, although you might be having some adjusted number as per the sales. But again, you cannot say with the confidence to the customer that I can deliver you the remaining number, because you don't know how much are the returns, what the quality issue, because you are not checking it. Okay, now the second is the cost part. So obviously if you're updating your records at real time, so you are putting more efforts, you are putting more money in order to utilize the technology, correct, which is enabling you to check whatever whatever inventory is available. So there's a cost involved to put the system, to build the system and use it. Okay, and you will be having certain system where you can see the UI or the report where you are going to receive it, correct, and the system itself can use the infra and everything, IT infra, usually some automations. So there are many things involved in it. So yeah, it comes with a cost. If you check the periodic inventory system, they are generally very less expensive, and they're very easy to maintain, because usually it's a manual work. Usually people do it on the paper, they just update it on Excel, so it is quite easy. The third thing is the visibility. So the visibility, we know that perpetual is a real time thing. You will be having the real time visibility for your inventory, but the periodic is is very less real time visibility. It's not the real time visibility at all, because you cannot track the inventory accurately. Sorry. So what is suitability? So which kind of business usually opt for the perpetual inventory system? So it is the best suited for the business who have the high inventory turnover. So what's the inventory turnover? Inventory turnover is something which talk about that how fast you are replenishing your inventory. If it is high, it means you are moving your inventory very fast. Okay. And the complex supply chain, because you know that from a single warehouse you are serving to multiple regional warehouse, although you are also serving to the customer from that demand from that warehouse, correct, customer demands. So it became a bit a complex thing, correct, to aggregate the demand, and you never know that on the chronological order which demand I have accepted and for which I have to serve. So this kind of problem may occur. So yeah, so in order to be updated at each point of time that how much demand I have, correct, and where the inventory is moving too fast because of the high turnover, perpetual inventory systems are the best choice. If you go to the periodic inventory system, yeah, these are the best suited for the business with a low inventory turnover and limited resources, obviously, because you don't have any resource in terms of money, in terms of labor, and yeah, and you just want a simple inventory management process where you don't want to put much efforts, and you just want to check that okay, how much I have, how much I can commit, and there is no there is very less inventory turnover, because you know that the kind of business you are doing, inventory is not going to change with the time a lot. Okay, so it's better to go with the periodic, because there is no need to check a real time adjustment over there, that okay, if I'm doing right or not, or this kind of stuff basically. The third is technology. Obviously, perpetual inventory system use technologies, but periodic generally do not. They are basically a manual activity. The decision making, I think that's the important thing. The decision making is fast, prompt, and accurate in the perpetual inventory system. Let's say your inventory stocks are changing within a day very fast. Okay, now what you will do, you will check that okay, how much inventory is remaining, so that I can commit to my customer that whether the thing is available or not. So the decision making is fast when you know the what's the actual inventory is available, and that can be helped by the perpetual inventory system. But when you come to the periodic inventory system, because you know that what kind of demand you have, you are not keeping a track of it, you are doing it once in a month, you don't know that on the first day of a month how much inventory was. You might be knowing it, but because you have done multiple sales and some returns will also be there, and you are not keeping the inventory records in your hand, you will not be sure at any point of time that okay, what is the exact number, how much sales I can do right now, because you're not taken a record of it. Let's say in the course of time, if your inventory has expired, if it is perishable, and this kind of stuff can happen. Okay, so in terms of decision making, yeah, the perpetual is a king here. It will give you fast result, accurate, and can make your business prompt. Okay, so the third, I think the second last thing is uh, auditability. Okay, so because in the perpetual inventory system you have certain infra, you have certain investment done in terms of keeping the records, so the auditing is very easy. Okay, because here you are recording each and every transaction, so there are very less chance that you are going to make any kind of mistake here, correct. So auditability is very good in perpetual inventory system, but if you go to the periodic inventory system, it can be challenging. Okay, you don't know that how much of your inventory come back as a return, because you are not keeping of your records. And if you're keeping of your records, that how many of your inventory you know expired, or it just going to return off because of some natural challenges, perishability, shelf life, end of life kind of thing, correct. So there can be many reasons by which your inventory can get low by the number which you were thinking about. So there can be many reasons. So the auditability is good for the perpetual, but for periodic it is very risky. You cannot do it. Go with the complexity. So setting up a perpetual inventory system is a complex thing, because you need to see that how many ways which can by which a inventory can come in, and how many ways by which a inventory can go out. We also check that where we are going to put a certain type of inventory so that our system can identify it, and where what are the ways of sales basically. So there's so many things involved by setting up a perpetual inventory system, which is more complex because it has to provide the real-time data. So it requires this thing. So there is complexity available, and it's of a good level. I have done that system, so I know that it's a quite challenging. If you talk about the complexity for the periodic, there's no complexity at all, because you just need to go and check and count the numbers. So very less complex. It can be complex in terms of nature of your business, that if you're doing your business and you're having your warehouses at very challenging location, which is not good or easy for you to go and check, and it can be challenging when it's heavy raining. Okay, and you are doing it at you know at at a low period, like a day or once in a 2 day kind of stuff. So yeah, but I think on the technology perspective or the process perspective, it is not complex at all. So these are the basically key difference we have checked right now. So right now we have a fair idea about what's the perpetual and what's the periodic. Let's talk about the benefits. So what's the benefit of perpetual inventory system? The first, real-time visibility. That's the key USP of it. If you have a perpetual inventory system, okay, it is going to give you a real-time visibility. The second thing, yes, it can monitor the stock levels continuously, and it is going to lead a better decision making for sure. You can tell your customer, okay, you want this much of quantity, I have it right now at my backyard. Okay, I can give it to you, and that is why you can satisfy your customer as well. The another thing is that it will reduce the risk of a stock out. Basically, yes. So when you have the when you have the information that how much stock you have with yourself, then you are not going to commit wrong to your customer. You will say that, okay, this much is available, and I am going to commit this one, and it will be available to you, and it improve the customer satisfaction. He may not be happy by the number of products he want, but he will be saying that whatever the owner is saying, he's doing that. Okay, you are doing a walk the talk. So that kind of stuff literally help customer satisfaction. Okay, if you want to check the example, e-commerce, we all know we do shopping on Amazon, correct? So, and if you go and check their warehouse, they do have a literal count that how much inventory they have for a particular order. If you might have experienced that, okay, when you're trying to add any product in your bucket, as soon as you click on add to cart, it say, okay, this item is sold out. Okay, so what is happening there? The perpetual inventory system comes to play, and it is saying, okay, as soon as when you were adding your cart, someone took it, and he paid for it, and that was the last item available. So this is the perpetual inventory system, which is helping a customer not to commit wrong. Correct? Helping a customer because he is not getting a wrong commitment. If it would have been a periodic, there will be no real-time inventory check, so you might be able to place that order. So this is how a perpetual inventory system helps. Let us check the periodic inventory system. Okay, so if you check the periodic inventory system, it is a very attractive option for small business owners. Why? Because the small business users don't want to invest, and because the business is so small that they can keep an eye on their inventory, and that's so good. Okay, the small grocery store and the some small showroom or some small retail outlet, they will be having their eye on their inventory. They know that, okay, what is going out, what is coming in. So there is no need to add any fancy or state of the art technological driven system to check the inventory. So they usually don't go for it. So for them, because they are at a small stage of their business, it is good for them financially as well to go with the periodic inventory system. Okay, the second thing is that it can be managed with basic accounting methods. Yes, you know what, you can do a simple accounting techniques at what was at the start of the day and what is at the end of the day and how much sales I did. You need to just check that, okay, it should be, let's say, you know, end of the day plus your sales should be your beginning of the day. So a basic account uh, management technique can helps you to use all your auditings and this kind of stuff. The third thing is that it work well with the business with the lower inventory turnover. Exactly. So you may have a good business, okay? You are not a small business owner, but the thing is, your inventory doesn't move fast. Okay, you might be selling something, but you know, once in a while, and that might be having a high value item. But you know, let's say you are a car manufacturer guy, okay, and you or sorry, let's say you are a car dealer guy. You might be having 5 or 6 cars at your showroom, or you might be having 30 cars at your backyard. Okay, and somehow your business is like that, you are not moving car very fast. Okay, so there is no need for it. But yes, I think usually the car business is not that slow. But I'm just giving an example. So another example which you can take, that you know, local markets which operate on a smaller scale don't need to constant inventory updates. Often a periodic system just work with that. The third thing is that they can afford to count their stock monthly without disrupting daily operations. So yeah, that is. So exactly. So here we need to check that they can afford to count their stock monthly without disrupting daily operation. So if you are handling thousands of clients or thousands of customers, correct, you will be spending all of your day by handling them. So at that point of time, you need a perpetual inventory system. But when you don't, when you see that, okay, you are going to serve 1 or 2 3 or less than 10 20 30 kind of stuff, then here I think you can go and check, okay, you have enough time to check your inventory and all, so you will go and check inventory systems. So there is no need of putting investment on perpetual inventory systems. Okay, let's check the what favor to each system. For the perpetual, high turnover, like a retail store. Okay, we know on the grocery system we have these POS screens. And the second thing is uh, the business which require precise inventory tracking. You can check out the jewelry business as well. Okay, so they should be knowing that how much I have, okay, how much gold I have in the jewelry, how much diamonds I have. So they should be knowing, they want to know that what's my current inventory in hand. So it is, and another way is e-commerce. They should be knowing that how much inventory I have, so that I can tell you, okay, this inventory is remaining and now I can commit this much quantity to a particular customer. Okay, but when to use the periodic, the small shop, restaurants, limited menu items, correct? Businesses with fewer resources and technology, actually. The small scale business users which do not have, you know, they do not have much money with them or the resource with them, they can go with this periodic inventory system, and it will help them, because they no need to put money and all, and still they will get benefit, because the nature of their business is like that. They do not need for this periodic also for this perpetual inventory system. Okay, so let's go that how you can implement, basically how you can implement the perpetual inventory system. The first of all, you need to select the appropriate software or hardware, correct? The software which can help you in order to satisfy all your needs, correct? There are so many systems available in the market, but the problem is that will they be able to do it, whatever you're looking for or not, because each and every software has their own age. So you can check out multiple, and then after you need to ensure that accurate data entry and inventory management is happening. So the thing is, it's just not the software, correct? You also need to be involved in terms of journey of digitization of a supply chain, or let's say digitization of your warehouse. You need to be involved. You should be helping it, that okay, how much data you have, how you can get the data, so that the system can help you. Okay, so you need to ensure that you are accurate, doing the accurate data entry and all. Let's say something is happening and nobody is doing a barcode check, correct? And that's a loss. Then that's a lost data, correct? Nobody is going to track it then. Okay, so you have to ensure that data entry should be correct. The third thing is you have to establish a process for regular monitoring and update. Although you are doing this, uh, you know, the system of perpetual, but still you can have some manual check at a particular period, just to check that if your this perpetual inventory system is working right or not, correct? So these kind of stuff you can check for sure. Let's say now come to the periodic inventory system. It's very simple. Basically it's just you just need to write a schedule at let's say once in a month, once in a week, twice in a month, twice in a week, whatever it is. You just need to set up a particular schedule or a period by which you can check, okay, uh, at this point of time I need to do the inventory check, I need to check the inventory count. So yeah, this could be monthly, quarterly, and you just need to just track it, put it on some paper, be it on Excel, or you can create a register of it so that you can have a manual record keeping. But yes, I think you people generally use Excel and all, so it's very easy to do. So there is no complexity involved. So yeah, let's go for the industry application. So right now, what are the industries available and which are using this thing? Let's say which is using perpetual and which is using periodic. So let's go with the perpetual first. So the retail, particularly which we are which are dealing with the fast moving consumer goods. We are not talking about the small grocery stores, correct? The retail in terms of a big retailer store like Targets, correct? And this kind of retailer store which are moving very fast and serving to the mass. And the second thing is e-commerce kind of industry. They have to do this, okay? And in terms of various manufacturing industry as well, which are doing the mass production, they also use this perpetual inventory system. If you go for the periodic inventory system, the small grocery stores, local retail business, and the restaurants usually go with the periodic inventory system. And the frequency of these usually is once in a day. They start in the morning and then they just check at the end that okay, how much we sold and what's the remaining inventory and this kind of stuff. And it's very simple, and they just keep a check that okay, my ending inventory plus my sales should be the on hand inventory. So it's very simple. So these are the industry applications basically. So great. So I think we have come to the end for all of our things. I would like that if you have any questions, you can come on this live stream. We have this live stream on daily, sorry, on on each Sunday basically. And if you still have any queries, you can do comment in the comment section. I would love to give you answers and resolve your queries. I do have an experience doing this perpetual inventory system, and I have seen many of the businesses which are using perpetual, so I can give you a real time or real world perspective as well. Yeah, so anyway, if you have any sort of questions, I would love to answer them. Please put them in the comment box, and we usually come live on Sunday evening or morning. So yeah, be updated, and if you want to talk, I think we can talk on the live. Sure, I think then if not, then please. Thanks for your time, and keep optimizing.